Are you prepared for a grid-down scenario? If your answer is, I'm not sure, then you've come to the right place. Welcome back to our Grid-Down Survival series. Today, we're going to shed some light on a vital aspect of survival: security and defense. We'll delve deep into everything from situational awareness to home security enhancements, personal defense, and even community defense strategies. So sit back, stay focused, and let's dive into the world of security and defense. In a grid-down situation, understanding your security landscape becomes crucial. Picture this. You're in a world where conventional security measures have taken a back seat, and you're responsible for your own safety. This isn't a scenario out of a dystopian novel. It's a potential reality in a grid-down situation. So, how do you navigate this new landscape? The answer lies in situational awareness. It's not just about knowing your surroundings, but understanding the dynamics within those surroundings. In essence, it's about being aware of who is around you, what they're doing, and what they're capable of. Imagine you're in a forest. You wouldn't just be aware of the trees. You'd be aware of the animals, the weather, the changing seasons, and how all these elements interact. The same principle applies to situational awareness in a grid-down scenario. You're not just looking at the physical layout of your environment. You're looking at the people, their behaviors, their intentions, and the potential threats they pose. Potential threats aren't always obvious. They can be as subtle as a shift in behavior, or as overt as an armed aggressor. Recognizing these threats early is key to proactive defense. Early recognition gives you time to react, plan, and execute your defense strategy. It also allows you to avoid or mitigate potential conflicts or confrontations. But situational awareness isn't something you can master overnight. It requires practice and patience. Start by observing your surroundings and the people within them. Look for patterns, anomalies, and potential threats. Over time, you'll become more attuned to your environment and better equipped to anticipate and respond to potential threats. In essence, situational awareness is your first line of defense in a grid-down situation. It's what separates the prepared from the unprepared, the survivors from the victims. It's what allows you to take control of your safety and security rather than leaving it to chance. Remember, awareness of your security landscape is the first step towards effective defense. Your home is your fortress. Let's make it a tough one for any potential threats. In a world where safety can't be taken for granted, your home becomes your first line of defense. It's crucial to strengthen it against potential threats. And this can be achieved through a combination of simple and advanced security measures. Starting with the basics, consider updating your locks. Upgrading to high-security locks on your doors and windows can significantly increase your home's defense. Deadbolt locks, especially those with a 1-inch throw, provide a sturdy first line of defense. Reinforcing your doors and windows with security film or laminates can also make them more resistant to break-ins. But security doesn't stop at the front door. Your property's perimeter needs attention too. Consider a sturdy fence, not just for privacy, but also as a physical barrier. Thorny plants and gravel paths can deter intruders, with the latter offering an audible alert to unwanted visitors. Now let's talk advanced measures. Solar-powered security cameras are an excellent grid-down solution. They provide constant surveillance, and since they're powered by the sun, they remain functional even when the grid is down. Pair these with motion detectors that can trigger alarms or lights, and you've got a robust surveillance and alert system. Another advanced measure to consider is installing a security alarm system. While conventional systems rely on the power grid, there are solar-powered and battery-operated alternatives that can function independently. These alarm systems can alert you to any intrusion attempts, giving you time to respond appropriately. Lastly, remember that security is not a one-time task. Regularly inspect and maintain your security measures and adapt as necessary. Every home and situation is unique, so tailor your security measures to your specific needs and circumstances. Home security enhancements are an investment in your safety and peace of mind. Whether it's upgrading locks, windows, or installing solar-powered security cameras and motion detectors, every step you take contributes to a safer and more secure home. Now, what about when you're not at home? Let's talk personal defense. Personal defense is a comprehensive approach that goes beyond merely owning a weapon. It's a mindset, a readiness to respond appropriately in all situations, while always keeping in mind the legal and ethical considerations. First and foremost, let's talk about self-defense training. This is about understanding your own physical capabilities and learning how to use them effectively. A good self-defense class doesn't just teach you how to throw a punch or a kick, but it also teaches you how to avoid getting into a physical altercation in the first place. It's about de-escalating situations, being aware of your surroundings, and knowing when it's time to run rather than fight. Next, let's consider firearms. Responsible firearms use is a vital part of personal defense, especially in a grid-down scenario. This involves more than just knowing how to pull the trigger. It's about understanding the mechanics of your weapon, how to maintain it, and most importantly, when and how to use it responsibly. Remember, a gun is a tool, not a magic wand. It only works effectively in the hands of someone who knows how to use it and is willing to do so responsibly. Now, firearms may not always be the best or most appropriate response. That's where non-lethal options come into play. These might include pepper spray, stun guns, or even a good old-fashioned whistle to attract attention and help. Again, the key is knowing how to use these tools effectively and responsibly. It's essential to remember that personal defense isn't about being a vigilante or a one-person army. It's about being prepared, staying aware, and making smart, ethical choices in difficult situations. Always consider the legal implications of your actions and strive to respect the rights and safety of others, even as you protect your own. Remember, personal defense is about being prepared, not paranoid. Being a lone wolf is tough, but as a pack, we can be stronger. In any grid-down scenario, community defense strategies play an essential role. It's not just about protecting your own four walls, but also about safeguarding the entire neighborhood. After all, our strength lies in unity, and together, we can create a formidable defense against potential threats. Forming community watch groups is a great place to start. It's about neighbors keeping an eye out for each other, reporting suspicious activities, and ensuring everyone's safety. Regular meetings can help foster a sense of community and keep everyone informed about potential risks and shared responsibilities. These groups aren't just about surveillance. They're also about collective action. They plan and execute defense measures, whether it's reinforcing common areas, creating safe zones, or establishing evacuation routes. Remember, the goal here is to deter threats, and there's no better deterrent than a community standing together. Now, it's important to note that while we're focused on physical defense, we can't ignore the psychological aspect. Fear and panic can be just as damaging in a crisis. That's why part of any community defense strategy should include providing emotional support, sharing accurate information to prevent rumors, and maintaining a calm and positive environment. One of the most significant strengths of a community is the diversity of skills and resources its members bring to the table. Maybe you have a retired nurse in your community, or a neighbor who's an experienced hunter. Identifying these skills and resources can greatly enhance your community's resilience and effectiveness in a grid-down scenario. And remember, it's not just about defense. It's also about mutual aid, about helping each other in times of need. Maybe it's sharing food supplies, helping repair a damaged home, or simply providing a listening ear. This sense of community, of looking out for each other, can be a powerful deterrent to potential threats. In unity, there's strength, and in strength, there's safety. So let's stand together, watch out for each other, and build a community that's not just resilient, but also a place we're proud to call home. When the grid goes down, communication doesn't have to. Let's explore some alternatives. In a grid-down scenario, traditional methods of communication like cell phones and internet are likely to be unavailable. Yet maintaining contact with your family and community becomes more crucial than ever. It's essential to plan for alternative ways to keep the lines of communication open. A two-way radio, or walkie-talkie, is a reliable choice. These devices work without any network or power grid, making them ideal for emergency situations. They come with various ranges, from a few miles to tens of miles, depending on the model and terrain. It's a good idea to establish a common frequency for your group and conduct regular checks to ensure everyone's equipment is functioning and ready. Another communication method is using emergency signals. These can be visual or auditory signals that convey a specific message. For instance, 3 short blasts on a whistle usually mean help in many parts of the world. Flares, smoke signals, and signal mirrors can also be used to attract attention from a distance. It's important to agree on a set of signals with your group and make sure everyone understands them. Ham radios offer another option for longer distance communication. While they require a license to operate in normal times, in a dire emergency, these rules can be waived. Ham radios can connect you not only with your local community but potentially with other survivors hundreds or even thousands of miles away. Messenger systems can also be established. This could be as simple as a trusted individual moving between locations to relay information. This method might be slower than others, but in certain circumstances it could be your only option. Remember, each of these methods has its strengths and weaknesses. It's wise to have multiple communication options available to you and to practice using them before a crisis strikes. Communication is a lifeline. Keep it open, keep it clear. Survival isn't just about gear, it's about skills. Let's delve into the importance of honing survival skills that can be the difference between life and death in a grid-down scenario. First on our list is medical emergency response. Accidents and illnesses don't take a day off just because the grid's down. Knowing how to administer first aid, bandage a wound, or perform CPR can save a life. It's a skill that's priceless in emergencies, especially when medical professionals are not immediately accessible. Then we have navigation. In a world without GPS or internet, the ability to read a map and use a compass becomes essential. It's not just about finding your way in the wilderness. It's about knowing your surroundings, understanding distance and direction, and being able to adapt if your path is blocked. And let's not forget basic survival techniques. We're talking about starting a fire without a lighter, building a shelter with limited resources, finding and purifying water, and foraging for food. These skills might seem primitive in our modern world, but in a grid-down situation, they can keep you alive and well. But let's be clear, owning a first aid kit, a compass, or a survival guide is not enough. You need to understand how to use them effectively. That's where regular practice comes into play. Practice until these skills become second nature, until you can perform them under pressure without hesitation. Imagine being able to help a loved one in a medical emergency, navigate your way to safety, or sustain yourself in the wilderness. These are not just survival skills, they're empowering abilities that boost your confidence and independence. And remember, you don't have to learn everything at once. Start with one skill, master it, then move on to the next. Over time, you'll build an arsenal of survival skills that can serve you well in any emergency. Skills save lives. Keep learning, keep practicing. Your resilience and preparedness depend on it. The more you know, the better you can respond when the unexpected happens. So, equip yourself not just with gear, but with knowledge and skills. They might just be your most valuable assets in a grid-down world. Preparation is a journey, not a destination. As we've journeyed together through the terrain of security and defense in a grid-down scenario, it's become clear that the key to survival is not just individual preparedness, but also community strength. It's about building connections, sharing knowledge, and standing firm together in the face of adversity. This journey doesn't end here. There's always more to learn, more to do, and more to share. So let's keep this conversation going. Have you got any insights or experiences to share on today's topic? Do you have any questions or concerns? Your input is invaluable, and we're eager to hear from you. And while we're at it, if you found this episode helpful, we'd appreciate your support. A quick like goes a long way, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. Not only does this keep you updated with our latest content, but it also helps us continue producing these in-depth guides on survival and preparedness. Now, looking ahead, we have an exciting topic lined up for our next episode. We'll be diving into skill development and education, focusing on the essential skills for resilience and self-sufficiency in a grid-down world. There's a whole lot to cover, and you won't want to miss it. Stay safe, stay prepared, and see you in the next episode. That's all for today's episode of Grid-Down Survival. We appreciate you taking the time to join us on this journey. We encourage you to keep up with our series as we continue to explore survival in a grid-down scenario. There's much more to learn, and we're looking forward to sharing it with you. Remember, your strongest defense is being prepared. Stay vigilant, and see you in the next episode.